Stream started? Oh, we're live. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first knockout game of TD. What are we up to? 7? I think you're up to 7. We've got 10 minutes of pre-game for the game, and joining us, we've got everyone and their mum. We've got Danny, Simon, Jason, Ray, Fred, Easy, and Alex stalking in the background, and Tucker. Obviously, the eliminated teams will be casting tonight because we have a massive amount of FOMO. Let's start with some stats analysis. Fred, hit us with what you got. Let's do some comparisons of different players. Can we start maybe with the mid players? Oh, amazing. How do I see that? Upper bracket. Oh my god, everything is set. While I'm pulling that up, NG, are you there? Oh, he muted himself again. Oh, he's not there. Guy wants to cast.
He's not server muted. He's just muted.
All right, well, I'll throw it to Ray and Danny. What do you reckon about the two teams that have been knocked out? I personally feel like it's been kind of it's been a very mid-meta TD, and seeing people kind of really pull out, and the anchors, like for example, like myself and stuff like that, really just got dominated by these ODs and these crazy showy Tim and Daryl and whatnot. When you think of the matchup tonight, Justin versus Tim, it's the OG matchup, really, and it was the matchup of last TD as well, which Justin won. How do you reckon this is going to go down?
Well, I think it's not just. Yeah, it has a huge. The teams are better, proven to. And I think both teams. So like Team Milo is a bit more rounded in their plays. I think they don't have like a hard carry like.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how it goes? See if Tim can pub stomp this.
Team Milo. Team Hanju's been more round. Team Milo's
I think Team Milo's more.
Okay, yeah. But they do have the hard carry. They've got Jay. I mean, Jay and Jimmy have been the standout carries as well, obviously. But they're the only two carries who are probably they're the highest tier carries, right? If you make the comparison.
Speaking about carries, I feel like the rankings in TD have almost followed that, right? Like the MMR almost of the carries is the ranking.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. And in terms of the support play, though, I feel like that's where Team Hanju's really flourished. Got Ray Ho, who's been he's been very diverse in his hero picks, been very versatile in the way he's been playing. And Casper, who's not playing like his Herald MMR whatsoever, right?
Yeah, so I think both Casper and Milo were seen as kind of like badish supports, but they've had some really fucking good. Casper on his Jakiro the other day.
Yeah.
Milo and his Disruptors. They're both can't count them out. But yeah, like you said, Raiho is definitely a support to watch.
100%. I mean, with Casper, it's been interesting. No one's really tried to ban him out, right? No one's really tried to take.
Just against Tim's team, there's so many other heroes.
I mean, alright, go on.
I was thinking you got to take into the extent of the hero pools of 4 players into account when you're banned, right? And I think one of the strategies, it was one of the strategies we used against Tim. Try to ban out Hanju's position 3 heroes. He doesn't have that big of a pool, and there are some heroes which is more effective on than others, and if we can sort of knock him out of the draft, you end up with basically 4 effective players you have to worry about, and then the next person to worry about copycat. Think about trying to get rid of his more effective carries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess one of the strategies to take into account.
I mean, you talk about the pool of heroes that Team Tim can play. Tim can first phase if he wants to. He can last phase if he wants, right?
Yep.
Is it worth really? I mean, there's obviously the Ember, but like, I mean, is it worth dedicating many bans to him? Like, he seems to be able to play on any hero.
I think the heroes that you don't want to.
Yeah.
Like heroes that you find really hard. Like
Yeah.
Simmons are banning out there. Like he plays a lot of heroes. You gotta find heroes that you definitely don't.
Yeah.
Like for example, Tinker.
Yeah, fuck Tinker.
Also, you still ban his Ember. Probably his best hero, even though he did throw on it one game.
Yeah. Look at these comparisons right now. I mean, it's pretty neck and neck. These stats, it's pretty uncanny, I find. Just looking at Milo versus Ray and Lap versus Casper. Even Justin versus Jay, like, that's a very tight. What separated these two teams, do you think, in Europe?
I think it's Reho. He plays what I would call like more like into a really strong position 4.
Yep.
While I feel like on Lockdown5eva team, they don't really have that role. Milo sort of wants to fill that role, but at the moment I think he's playing second seat to Apu's.
I think Milo sort of does that role where he plays a bit more aggressive, but in a vision sense. He loves putting aggressive vision instead of like, and he'll generally be the one that backs up his. Whereas Reho, like I said, is one like looking for game. I think that's the difference between those two.
100%. And Milo's playing a different pool of heroes, right? He's playing the disruptors versus Willows, right? Like,
yeah. I feel like they have him more on those defensive support heroes.
Mhm.
Like to be honest, if I was Lockdown5eva, I would probably swap. But maybe they'll do it this game. Who knows? Like, and I'd give Milo that defensive role and give him the ability to take parts of the game.
yeah, I mean, they're a team that kept going 1-1. They kept feeling like they felt like they were kind of working out their tempo, if that makes sense. Like they had the raw ability to beat anyone. But the games they lost were either throws or, just execution based almost, or draft. Like it wasn't in doubt that they could have 2-0'd a number of teams. Do you reckon going into the upper bracket they've sorted that out, like the Justin J split? Or do you think it's still very draft dependent?
I think it's draft dependent because, and I think a lot of that is limited to basically the mid players' hero pools, right? Like Justin's hero pool. One of the things we noticed when we tried drafting some heroes that we don't want Justin playing because when he plays those heroes, for example, as opposed to playing almost parity in position, and we kind of wanted him to default to that. And there are certain heroes which he does play that we felt like that we had answers, so we could just let him.
Yeah.
So we kind of had their team a little bit figured out, I guess. But I think they have probably taken that feedback on it. I guess it's in the last week or so, probably. And that's kind of what we want to see in this game, right? Like, if they're going to win this series, I feel like it's all up to them to sort of solve that part.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, let me ask the following question: what are the heroes from both teams, Danny and Ray, that you just don't want a bar of? You just don't want, like, your first favorite bands, no question.
For Lockdown5eva, I would take Pugner out, mainly because when Justin plays Pugner, his focus is really heavy objective-based.
Yep.
And the same goes for the OD. Those two heroes are ones where he's far more active on, and he seems to make more impacts. Those are probably the two that are more.
Yep. Danny, what do you reckon about Team Tim? Oh, sorry, Team 100.
Team's Ember.
Yeah.
In terms of first phases, he's not afraid to first.
Yeah, what about the Lesh?
I think Lesh can be a bit easier to. It's sort of similar to Death Proctor, but just not with the big. But like with the right drive, you can do it more easily than his Ember.
And what do you guys want to see today in today's series? Out of curiosity, obviously, Ray, you said you want to see Milo playing a true 4. What else?
I want to see
I'll tell you what I
some
want
new
to say.
heroes. I want to see
Sorry, go
some
on.
new heroes on Justin. I see
Yes.
he's been practicing a lot of new heroes because he knows like everyone's been banning out all his.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see that. Pop or OD, like you said.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see that. Like,
I wanna
but
see
it's
an
all going to
earlier-
depend on this draft, right?
Yeah, I want to see an earlier pick from Justin. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I would love
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see a first phase. You know, one of those series that they can't. You know, they can't necessarily ban, but you can still play through the ban. I mean, OD's been one of those heroes that people have been first phasing constantly, right?
Like,
Yeah.
it would be good to see that. I don't know how it'll work out, honestly, for them, but because they do like to set Justin up. And one thing we did notice with Justin is that he's not good when he's really strong when he's. So it'll be interesting if they do first pick his hero. He can play that when the draft is against.
That's why OD is such a good hero. Like, not really many heroes that like destroy him.
Yeah,
Maybe like a
exactly.
Viper and lane, but once he hits 60, he can Viper.
Yeah. I don't know about that, Ray. One thing I would say is that what Justin's shown in a number of TDs is even when he falls behind in lane, he finds a way to get that. Like with a little bit of space, he goes a long way. You know?
Like, absolutely. Like, well, I mean more so on like in terms of the draft. Like,
Yeah, sure.
typically
If
he
he's hard
picks,
counted.
Yeah, exactly. He
Yeah.
typically picks later in the draft, so he's actually usually in a better position to see what happens with.
I mean, the only time
He
we've
picks
really
first.
seen that was that really gross like Viper Bristle matchup, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the hard counter absolutely applies, but I don't know. I've been so impressed by Justin in the last two series that he just like his MMR clearly is a load of shit right now, right? He seems to match up with the Tims in mid. He seems to be able to farm faster than anyone else in TD, right? I'm sure his stats are amongst the best, even amongst his bad games. I'm throwing back to that tiny game, if you remember, where we just thought, he didn't take the blink. He went for the late game. There was no way he was gonna be ready when they came against your team, Ray.
I don't think that was against that team.
Was
I
it? I can't remember.
was casting that game.
No, it was.
No, it was.
NG was
game
Bloodseeker,
where-
Taka was.
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
You guys came at such a pace, and you took their towers.
Yeah.
And it was
I
really
remember
interesting.
that.
I was talking to Jay afterwards, and he said at no point did they feel threatened about the game, and yet we were watching it thinking, "Holy shit!" Right?
So-
Like this game is done. Yeah.
That was an interesting. I think that one was a little bit of I guess misstep maybe. He struggled to sort of push towers with that. Could have been a different thing. Decision making.
And what do you think? If you had to pick MVPs from both teams, or if you think the MVP of the series coming forward, who do you think are the contenders? Taking into account MMR as well, right? Like,
Looking at the two teams, if you look at the main differentiators, I reckon the MVP would probably be Ray Ho coming from HJAF. I think his plays are going to be make the biggest differentiator in matchups. And if I look at, let's say, the gap in Lockdown5eva, if they're going to run away with the series, I'd have to give it to Windy. Finally, you have two cores that want to go farming heavy. It's up to the position. Put a lot of effort in. Not lose that early game.
yeah, for sure. I think Ray. I also think Hanju is like one of those guys either been turning up or not. Do you know what I mean? He's either been on fire or ravaging creep, right? And it's been interesting to watch that play out. And it's not really hero dependent either. But one thing I've noticed by Hanju is he consistently leads like the farm in that early game. Like he gets early farm, he wins lane quite comprehensively. Maybe not wins lane. I don't know if he's denying the other carry, but he's definitely in the runs, if you know what I mean.
He gets what he should get out of lane.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know if he necessarily, does what Kenny would do, is kill the carry like 4 times or whatever. But then it's just a matter of really, converting that farm into some plays.
I think you've done that more this TD than Kenny though.
Well, Kenny had some anchors, I'll admit.
So I think it's 100. It'll really depend on the hero. I don't know. He's been put on tight a couple times. Can't really do that much in terms of making that hunter as opposed to fights.
Yeah.
Holding a lane, pushing lane, right? I'd like to see him play maybe like he's Sanking to see if we can get some initiation and play.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, he has been playing Magnetor. Interesting if we do see him play Mag.
Last question. Actually, two more questions. Still waiting for Lap. Saving lives, apparently. The off
He's in
lane.
the lobby already.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Off lane pair up.
I'm not in the lobby. I got booted.
Windy Hanju. How do you think these guys face off in each other? They're very similar play styles, I feel.
Thinking, yeah.
I think, like Ray said, Hanji's been like either really good or like he was drunk and missed the.
Yeah.
Whereas Windy on the hands, he's a bit more of a, he doesn't do anything super flashy. But Daryl's there, he does his job as opposed to.
Yeah, 100%. Both of them have kind of ticked that box. All right, final question before we start locking down lobby settings. What's your pick for the series, independent of draft?
I reckon HJAF takes this 2-1.
Danny?
Yeah, I think
2-1.
I think it'll be really close though. I don't think it's like super favored. So.
This is going to be a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Can someone ask these boys what they want to pick so I can do the setting?
Yeah, Hanju wants first pick.
Anju. What side did the other team want?
The Emirates. I will just say, Hanju and friends on the Jimmy hardest carry in the game. They haven't.
Good call. That's really interesting. I did not know that. That's
So-
really interesting. When you say hard, like you're talking about.
I mean, when he's
blue
not
stuff.
counted. So
Yeah.
when he's I mean, when he played the sniper game, it probably was different being in the safe lane. Yeah, when he played the Luna game, he was off counted by Tucker's sniper, but 100% great on the EL, Ral, Gay. So
Interesting. Okay,
but
let
on
me
the other hand, Lockdown5eva has got one.
Big play.
It's Milo.
Sorry. Did you tell me that Crave wanted first pick?
Yeah.
The starting pick will be Dyer, correct?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, isn't Milo meant to be in the? Is his first?
Ah,
We have the wrong person that's taken my list.
He's in the broadcast channel with Daryl.
All right. Before we start, though, I really want to do a really quick shout out. First of all, to Fred, who has faithfully lifted the professionalism of the TD casting team, not just with his camera work, but with his stats and his hype. So, big shout out to him. Second shout out to MZ, who's been the grandfather of the YouTube channel and the backbone of the casting team, and he's currently studying, I believe. So, our thoughts and prayers with him with his upcoming exam. And my sincerest thanks for carrying us this far. Are we ready to go? Thank you. What a thing, or what a monster. What a monster.
How did we get here? What have you done?
All right, are we ready to go? All right, let's go. Starting the game. Just waiting for everyone to tell me I set it up wrong. Just gonna check.
Your chronology
right.
is.
God. Is anyone else crashing?
It's taking a bit of time. Yep, there we go.
Oh,
Whoa, Lakshman, 5-man void.
yeah. What was that?
Nice.
Did I get it right? Yeah, die first pick. All right. Shall we kick off game one for the draft? We've got joining me NG, Kenny, push up Fock, and Tucker mid or feed. I don't even remember your last name. What is it, Tucker? If you
It
want to put it
doesn't
on
matter.
YouTube. Doesn't matter. I do know on my tickets. We've got Spirit Breaker band first up. What are your calls for the opening bands? Obviously, they've kind of let the typical Justin bands out. They're banning out Windy Days. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like Spirit Breaker has been pretty popular in just the normal meta, so it's been a BKB piercing stun with the bash and
Yeah, it's a
disrupting the
double
team fight.
ban to Windy. I mean,
Yeah.
haven't seen that this tournament. You reckon it's not worth taking anything for Justin or Jay there?
Either that or they're very prepared and have a few strats to go against it. So we'll see how prepared they are in their picks.
Yeah,
So
and in
this first pick
true
is going to show a lot.
in true TD form, a double Tim ban as well.
I also feel that Lockdown5eva don't pick Justin's hero early in the pool, so I think Tim knows that, and he prefers to ban out the other heroes first.
I would love a first phase Justin pick. I just really think it would be exciting to really mess up the pick. Jakiro secured for Casper, and also a lap deny pick, right?
Yeah. Jakiro has been a very high win rate, I guess, throughout the whole TD. So I think it's sitting at 70% win rate or something at the moment, which has been pretty good.
That's crazy. Tide must be up there as well.
I think Tide's sitting around 50.
Yeah, I think
50?
Tide was more even, yeah.
Interesting. And the Slaughter, which, Windy's preferring. I mean, what's Windy's pool there that we've kind of chosen it over? The Sand King's still in the pool. It could have been a deny pick there against the Hanju. Do you reckon that's an auto pickup for Team Tim?
Yeah, and also it would be good. Sand King.
Yeah.
For the Hanju. Yeah. But he does get countered by the Slaughter just because he has the corrosive phase, so you can get revealed with the especially with the shard later on in the game.
Yeah.
So you might have a little bit of a hard time dealing with the Slaughter just in the offlane matchup.
Yeah. Where's NG? NG said he wanted to join us.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, great.
I was just checking. Tidehunter's actually 77%, so it's actually higher than Jakiro.
Oh, he hasn't much.
I think there were a few series at the end where the Tide just won.
I felt it in my bones. He's just been one of these series that's been really hard to blow up, whereas some of the other offlaners have been. The Lena, which I can only presume is, Lap's a Lena spammer. That wouldn't be a Justin, right?
Yeah, it's disappointing.
I feel like, are we going to see Tim do his first pick strategy here again? Here we go.
Oh, okay. So draw for Jimmy right there.
All right.
That's a very strong pick.
Talk me through that, Kenny. Why?
Just because of the fact that Tim already knows who's going into the offlane. It's most likely going to be Lena Slaughter, so they picked Drow to counter the Slaughter because Drow does pretty well in lane against Slaughter.
Yeah, but we talk so much about the laning phase. Yeah, what about the rest of the game, though? What are the counters for Drow? It leaves them open to that, doesn't it?
So they've already banned the Spirit Breaker, and then often the 3 and the 4 are the heroes that like to jump in. So they've already picked a Slaughter. Slaughter is one hero that will jump in, but Lena isn't.
Yeah.
So normally a pos 5 is probably not the hero that's going to ball in onto the Drow. So they're probably going to ban some of the counters, the carry.
Also, Justin doesn't like playing heroes that like to jump in on the back line, so I think it's actually going to be all on Jay's hero to do it.
All right. Riddle me this, Kenny. You're the opposing captain. What are the picks that are running through your head when you see that Drow in the early phase?
On Jay?
Or on anyone, really. Like, you've got the Slaughter, which is a bit of jump. What are the other tools that you think you need to build into your draft?
I like seeing heroes like Storm, Ember. Spec is okay. Slark is pretty good too, I think.
What about mid heroes?
Mid heroes. It would be the Spirits. You could even put a pause for maybe like a Earth Spirit or something like that.
Yeah.
Or a Lion on pos 5.
NG, you're the Drow spammer. What else do you not like seeing?
I think personally, I don't really like playing Slark into Drow. The science is really annoying on Drow. But yeah, I think PA is probably another
Yeah.
one. Like Jay's written
Yeah.
out for that. It's not that good because the marksmanship goes through evasion. So
Yeah,
he
okay.
kind of has half an MKB already by default. If you're
But
not
if you're
on PA.
next to the drow, you don't get marksmanship as a buff.
That's
So
right.
as long as you can BKB next to the drow and dodge or evade that gust, you should be pretty good to go 1v1 against the drow.
The only problem I see with the PA is that their off lane is going to get like pretty wrecked. Like Slider Lino is not going to beat a Drow or Chikura, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And if you get PA, you're kind of used to this early level, so it's really hard when you have two side lanes that kind of don't do much. You're putting all the pressure on Justin there.
Is an OD going to come out?
Let's be real. Justin is like a bloody diamond these days. Being pressure is his jam. What do you think about the Tiny? That's something that they've looked to pick when they can. How does that match up in a Drow game?
Doesn't look that good because he's gonna get carded, right?
Yeah.
If especially if he doesn't go blink, he likes to go the Shadow Blade build. So if they have detection, there's not that much room for him to actually get to the Drow.
And there's already a lot of slow with the Jakiro and the drow combo, so I wouldn't want to play Tiny against the drow.
Yeah, for sure. And Ray, we see the Milo disruptor, so you don't get your Christmas wish of your pos for Milo, unfortunately. Can I ask the panel, is this Sand King an automatic pick for you guys?
I think Sand King's a pretty good pick right now.
I would not go Sand King.
It's okay.
It's really hard to play against a Disruptor and a Slider.
Yeah.
It's a good call.
I think there's some value in jumping on the back line. I think Lena and Disruptor get jumped pretty easily, and they have no.
I think Night Stalker is a better pick, though. Like, right?
Yeah, I like Night Stalker. Okay,
I
but you
think
can't.
you can see Mars.
I mean, what about these tanky
fly over
frontliners?
the wall, right?
What about the Centaurs? What about the Mars? You need someone to sit in front of the Drow, right?
Yeah.
Tide's gone.
Night
Tanking
Stalker just
doesn't
does
really show in lane.
Night Stalker just does really well against Lena Disruptor. It just makes it so they can't land the spells. I'm not sure if I really want to see a Centaur come out. Like, I feel like it just wouldn't add. I don't know. It depends on the rest of the draft, but I just feel like it just wouldn't add to the draft that much.
Yeah.
It's not really a deny pick anymore because they picked
Maybe
one,
Mars.
three, and
Maybe
then-
Mars.
Does
Yeah.
Hanju play Mars?
Yeah, it does.
Tucker, what mid are you thinking is coming like out of Tim in that last pick
Or
to play around the Drow?
we'd just like to see a Void Spirit from you, probably. Oh, no, actually, that's bad. Yeah, he
All
does
three
usually
spirits
like
gone.
trick.
Well, not the
Yeah.
Earth, obviously. See the Night Stalker, Kenny. You're the specialist. What are you thinking? That's not an easy lineup, right? Like Disruptor.
I think Hanju does fine. I think what he does is he finds his early farm. I think he gets a really early BKB, and I think that's really crucial in this game, having an early BKB so that you can just run at the Lena and the Disruptor while they have their first fights. Because I think this game might be decided in the first few team fights.
Yeah, okay. I mean, what we were talking about earlier is like Hanju's been able to like guarantee his farm in his lane consistently, right?
Yeah.
So, and he has been getting his first item pretty early. Like it's quite rare that he's lagging on his blink or lagging. In fact, he almost gets his Night Stalker BKB too early sometimes. You know, like it's timed down to 7 seconds by the middle of the game when everyone else is ready to fight.
I think it's fine there because like Night Stalker's a hero. It's a high tempo hero. You want to be like keeping the pressure up as that hero.
Yeah,
You
Quap,
don't farm that fast. Yeah.
Quap on the Tim, Kenny. Sorry, Tucker. What are you thinking?
I think it's on Rayho.
Oh.
Yeah, that's also true. He has played Quap 4 in the past, but I think they're going to leave it flexible to see what their pick 4 here is and then decide if Tim wants to play it as a way to deny Justin as well, because we have been saying, Justin's been practicing these heroes.
It's pretty tough being first pick here when they're only showing one core because you only get one pick left and they get two, and they also get the last one when you're a second pick for phase 2 and 3.
Yeah, but Justin and Jay aren't a counter last picking team, are they? Right? They kind of have their plan and they're going to push on with it. Can I just ask, the Quap, surely the opportunity cost of the crowd control that Rayho's been able to bring to the game, that's pretty significant, right?
But I think the way he's going to be playing this is he's going to be aggressive and he's going to be backline jumping.
I think it's Crave. I think it's Tim.
You reckon he'd pick it into Disruptor? It's a bit difficult.
It's fine because you got the SNY BKB build, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe.
what's it called?
Kai Assange.
Assange, yeah.
Maybe. But that would mean that they're leaving the last pick to be Rayho or position 4. So we'll see.
Yeah, they don't have last pick anyway, so.
Yeah, true.
And there's the Bristle.
Drow does deal with the Bristol.
Wait, Viper is still in the pool.
But that's what I was going to say. They've exposed themselves a bit here.
Oh wait, sorry.
Yeah,
like,
They're
they're
gonna ban it for sure.
Yeah. That
Bristol
matchup.
against Drow is not easy.
Sorry, Tucker, Danny. That matchup, Bristle, Quap.
Bristol is fine. Quap just runs
get farm,
the
yeah.
lane and farm, yeah.
You don't bother with that. You just go max E and blink.
Do you think the Spirit Breaker Tide ban was worth letting, or even actually we're 6 picks in now? Do you reckon it's worth letting the Bristle through? It's a pretty big Justin hero, right?
I think they got the heroes to deal with the Bristol. Like honestly, Drow does really well against Bristol back. Same as Queen of Pain, like pure damage, throwing her ult pushes the Bristol back away from the team. Wave clears, like they've got the tools to deal with the Bristol back right now, and they still have one open pick.
Yeah, I think what Team HJAF is missing though is just some sort of hard stun. Like right now they have a bunch of silences, but like it's only Jakiro Ice Path that can actually lock someone down.
Yeah, for sure.
So if they hit a bigger B timing on Lockdown5eva, it can be pretty scary.
I would honestly like to see like some, like just like a greedy 4 or something like.
Well, come on, Kenny. What do you want? What's a greedy for?
Hoodwink.
The Willow does a lot in this, right?
Oh yeah, Willow can shred.
Willow, Wood.
Rusta, someone.
I just feel like what Ray's brought is that crowd control time and time again, and him on the Willow was unbelievable, right? With his scream, the brambles, the stun.
Yeah, the problem with Willow is that there it
we go.
is. Yeah. The problem with Willow is that you're kind of put on timer before they get BKBs, right? Like they have no stuns or lockdown once the other team gets BKBs.
The BKB piercing stuns.
Not necessarily just that, but like say a line, you jump on, you blink hex, they can't do anything.
Right.
It's not like an instant lockdown.
Exactly.
Like I'd like to see the Rusta come out, because it would have solved a lot of their draft problems. Like it provides a massive advantage for Bristleback. He gets hex breaks. I think at like level 15, 20.
Yeah.
So,
Is that
so
a
if it does
talent?
go, it's a talent. So if it goes long enough, we've got a free break. Same time too, like just makes it really easy to catch anyone on their team.
Yeah,
Willow's good too, but I think Rusta's better.
Stupid question here. Are we sure? Actually, you know what? We're going to find out.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh,
I was going to say,
wow.
are we sure it's a
Jay,
Justin
right?
mid? But how does like Tucker, you're the Druid man. How does that fare in the safe lane, or do you reckon they're going to play him in mid?
No, I would think it's safe lane, and Danny plays it as well. But I'd much rather get levels on the bear because the bear's really weak now, with patches from a couple of years ago or something. So the bear really needs levels to scale, and I feel like safe lane lone druid is not that great of a hero unless he gets a free game.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it is stronger mid lane. But you can be alright. You do farm pretty quick and you can farm pretty early.
Yeah, okay. Kenny, your verdict.
I like 100 and Friends draft.
Tucker?
I agree. I think the Drow, they don't have an answer for Drow.
Yeah, okay. Danny?
Yeah, I agree. Like, if they can play high tempo well, then their draft is significantly stronger. Especially like bear into this draft is not that easy because like the Willow is just gonna make it so annoying for bear. You don't really like getting BKBs for your bear.
Yeah, fair
So it's
enough.
pretty hard.
That's a really good point, actually.
And the Drow kind of like kites you as well. So might not be the easiest, but we'll see how it goes.
NG.
I agree with the team. Unless they snowball over them, but I'm not sure if Justin's team has been one to play that high tempo.
Yeah, fair enough. Ray, are you going to disrupt the opinions, or are you going to go clean sweep?
Honestly, a clean sweep. I think they have no answers for Drow. As long as Poppycat doesn't get shut down, he's gonna have a really good game. At the same time, too, I think the question we're gonna be asking ourselves is Jay gonna grief his team by buying double Midas Radiance on the bear?
No, he learned from that game.
You learn from the game.
You
One
said the
more
Radiance
point.
is bad, but the double minds is good.
One
Yeah,
more
actually-
point before we start is that when we said that when we picked the Drow, Justin said he'd pick Bristleback to counter it. He said he'd get a blink and just kill.
Yeah, he does
So
say that a
let's
lot.
watch out for that one.
Let's
I
see, let's see
hear,
how
I
that
hear,
goes.
I hear Justin posture about a blink bristle a lot, but I haven't seen it. But anyway, let's get started. Thank you, Kenny and Tucker, for leading the draft analysis. We'll see you again for game 2. Danny and Ray, although you're in the draft anyway. But let's get through this. We got an early smoke play from the Radiant team. I assume to secure some early vision. Are we going to see bit of cheese for the runes up front?
So they want to block.
I think going solo up here at top makes me think they're not going to be grouping up. That or maybe he's trying to scout and break an early smoke, but that's really risky to do that.
I have been thoroughly disappointed by the lack of early cheese plays, except for the one that I walked uphill into. I remember CK. Team Crave's been one to actually pull that a few times, as was I think Daryl's team. But a shame nonetheless.
I think it's just it's risky, you know. It could really go either way.
Yeah, and we see that specialist Ray Ho Void in the bot lane there. Very cheeky, deep past the T1. He's going to be looking to snipe some couriers, I presume. Let's go through the lineups. So we got Jay on the Druid in the safe lane, presumably alongside Milo on Disruptor. Lap and Windy reprising the Lina and Slider lane. Justin on the Bristle as we see a family split for the runes, one apiece. And on the Radiant team, we've got Hanju on Nightstalker, Jimmy playing his Drow, Casper continuing his run form on Jakiro, Ray looking to be disastrous again on the Willow, and Tim picking up the Queen of Pain. Let's talk about the mid lane matchup. Danny, Bristle versus Quap. How does that play out?
He's just going to be a farm pest. But Tim does actually go for the dagger, trying to bully him out early. Which I'm not sure I agree with, because he doesn't do that much, and he's just going to get a ring of health. So
Yeah.
that's how that goes. But he is taking a lot of damage.
I mean, what we've seen from Tim in his TD is he's mastered rune control. There's been rotations from pos 4s. It's been a really it's been a bit of a clinic in terms of mid play. Do you reckon Justin gives a shit about any of that?
I think Justin just plays his own game in mid usually.
Yeah, I mean he's not one to necessarily push for he cares about the water runes, but beyond that,
Yeah.
he kind of just finds a way, right?
Yeah. I think the way Justin's going to play this too, he's probably going to skip the bottle. He's probably going to get up his quick hood.
Yep.
And he's just going to basically ignore Crave and then farm mid lane and then look to farm the triangle at the same time.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's move up to top with some early harassment to Lap from the Drow. Jesus, Frost Harrier cert. Let's talk about Slider and Lina versus a Drow and a Jakiro. We said there was no answer to them. It's kind of playing out that way already.
If Jimmy doesn't completely dump to this lane, I'm going to be a very, very disappointed Asian parent.
If that happens, I want you to buy automatically the first thing that you see on Ozbargain, except for those rat tests from the pet store.
Okay.
We've already seen a fair bit of harass there on Lap as he kind of steps forward. I've got to say though, Lap's positioning significantly improved from the last TD, where he kind of really got punished for that. As they try and get away with this pull here. Lap's taking some serious damage here. Drow's going to make him pay for that. 2 Frost Arrows, 3. Can he get the last one? Oh, it's going to use. He's going to use his multi-shot. Fantastic there. Let's go to the bot lane while we're here. With Jay on a very low health bear, which might die. I know killing the bear is a big deal. Is it a really big deal in lane, or is it more for the mid lane?
It's more so in lane than it is. Actually, when you level up, does Spirit Bear resume? I can't remember if it actually gets reloaded.
It doesn't.
Not anymore, right?
Yeah, okay.
Only when you resummon it.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's a really
Fair.
high level of harass there from the bear. Willow really taking it upon herself to kind of try and chip away at the damage. Disruptor Druid versus the Night Stalker Willow. How does that play out?
Two here.
Again, in mid or top?
Top.
Oh, there we
Aster
go.
goes down.
Return kill on the Jakiro.
I think they'd be really happy with that kill.
Yeah.
Definitely.
By looking at where his position was, he just seemed like he was caught out on the wrong side of the trees.
Yeah, he was out of position.
Sorry, returning back to Oh, the mid lane, we're seeing Quap kind of dive past the tower, I think just to get a couple more hits of harass out there. In the mid lane, what do you think of that matchup?
This
Sorry,
is
the bot lane, sorry.
So Jay's just going to be looking to Rice. Don't know if he'll go double Midas. It looks like he's got queued up the phase boots, which is a good power spike for the bear.
Disruptor catching the Willow there, who drops the brambles. All the heroes tanking the brambles there, making an easy retreat. Do you reckon they've got time for a double Midas, or is that a throw?
I think it's a throw.
It's pretty greedy.
Yes,
Rather
yes.
just add a Maelstrom if you want to farm hard.
Yeah, I think like a lot of, if you look at the heroes, they need to end this game before the Drought comes online.
So let's talk about timings then. Yeah, I mean, what like who's on a timer? Who wins the late game? As we see Slider taking a fair bit of harass in the top lane again.
Lockdown5eva definitely on a timer, in my opinion.
Yep. And
I
what's
think
that?
if
What's the
Justin
item?
has I think Justin can take over this game if he has a good one.
Yeah,
Good
just
time,
it's,
so.
it's up to, if Justin will hit this timing around like 12, 13 minutes, it'll be really strong.
Yeah.
It'll be completely up to how much he gets done during that time window.
Yeah.
Like if we see them take all the T1 towers within the first 15 minutes, it's a good game for them, I think.
You got to say though, with an early 1K lead going out to Team Hanju and friends, things kind of falling into plan for them so far in the laning phase. 1 kill apiece, obviously. But that Drow and that Quap, not massively ahead, but pushing forward.
Yeah, it's just the main difference right now is that off the top lane.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for Nice Stalker against the bear, but he still managed to find farmer. Slaughter
Yeah,
is
it's
like
making it work.
you just get Shrek now.
I mean, apart from the obvious tools that we have in terms of the Slaughter blink and maybe the Bristle blink, what are the tools you think that Lockdown5eva have to be getting online? Oh wait, hold on, we've got Lap slightly out of position. Sorry, that was a
Oh, 300 gold. There goes down. It's a
yeah,
nice
setting
chunk.
cost.
That's a chunk.
And while we got it, we've got actually Willow probably falling to the Disruptor. Thunderstrike there. What do you think the tools are that they need to pick up? A couple of blinks?
So I think for this Lockdown5eva team, when Justin gets Vanguard good, I think that's the time. That's the signal to go. He's pretty unkillable for probably the next like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And during that time, they need to get the most amount of work done.
Especially with Disruptor ult as well.
10 minutes is not very long.
Well,
I don't think
Milo
there's been
might
a
go down
single TD game where people, except for that Tucker game, actually, your team, where the first 10 minutes, Slider pushes forward, gets a slam onto the Drow, saved by potentially by the Ice Path from the Jakiro, and in that time, Disruptor's been picked off. Where did he die?
He tried to he blocked the camp in the triangle, and then Rayho killed him.
Sorry, guys, calling the wrong lane. As usual.
Man, I would like to see if I could get some mana regen here, or like at least a stick. You need to keep up the mana to be able to harass them down.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
you
like-
do see that lane not swinging, but it's not been as abusive as it kind of was in the first couple
Yeah,
of
like
minutes.
Slider's slowly catching up from like
Yeah,
6 creeps to 12 or whatever to now like.
yeah.
You know,
But there is 1,000 net worth gap between the two, so pretty
yeah,
interesting disparity there.
I mean,
There's the 3 frost arrows that Jimmy can afford, and back to normal arrows. Let's look at the bear. What do you think the build for Jay is going to be this game to make it work?
It depends whether he wants to play like. If he wants to run with the wristback, so he can just go like Mom Deso.
He
and,
surely
push
has to, right?
towers.
He has to, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to outrice their team, right?
So one thing Jay's doing really great here is he's farming the bottom
Big
lane
camp.
triangle basically, big and small
Yeah.
camp, and the lane. So I guess Divos, as like the resident bear expert, like normally you'd like to play that at mid, right, to get an XP.
Caster's been caught out, with the stomp and the light strike array. He throws down the ice part. Will that enough? Oh, he had mana for. Oh, he used his sprint. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he's level 6 now, and the off lane is level 5 and level 4. Like normally you want to get an XP advantage as a mid as the bear. Do you think Jay will be happy with how the lane's going right now?
I think he's fine. He's like doing pretty well in lane. Like that's why I think like going the farm build on bear is not too bad because you don't have that low advantage to be able to like fully pressure towers.
Yeah. Big stack here in top lane. Lap's trying to get in the way, but he's just on too low health. He's on 300 health there. That's Oh, there he goes. He's
Oh,
trying to
so-
snipe a couple of those creep. Gets pretty good value there. Not bad. Good
This is
60,
pretty
70
good.
gold. Another 20 there. Can he steal this one? No. Let's talk about the pos forwards. What do you think about Lena as in this lineup? It just feels like it's going to be really hard to get the positioning required to kind of like. Is it their role to deal with the quap?
I don't know. I feel like Lena is really hard to play in this lineup. Traditionally, you
Yeah.
want to pair your Lena with someone who can set up for you, like a Sankey.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, even like a Sven or whoever has a reliable stun, right? And then you land a double stun combo and you have a kill lane. In this one, it's going to be pretty hard for Slaughter to be able to land a stun on these two range heroes. Like, they're always going to have space between them and your Malik core. But maybe it'll work out once we get the disruptor and start seeing some.
Oh, he does get a stun on.
Oh, he
Cat,
gets a
and
stun
he's
off though.
dead.
Beautiful stun.
Wow, that was rapid.
A bit of a misstep there from Puppy Cat. And I think a bit of a misplay here for Casper to be pulling the wave.
Yeah. That is unfortunate, isn't it? Just being half an inch too forward and Lap getting that swim around. I'm surprised they don't have any vision there either of that either. So Jimmy was playing completely blind there, wasn't he?
A little bit of miscommunication. Mainly, I've seen this a bit from, I guess, some of the mistakes from, I guess, the lower ranked supports is they tend to focus a bit too heavily on pulling instead of actually winning their lane and securing the farm and like understanding the role as the position 5.
I feel like BSJ in some ways sets the meta of amateur Dota, right? Like he makes a video on lane equilibrium, and then we're all sitting there.
And everyone
like,
thinks that's the thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Forget about the basics.
Yeah.
What-
I mean, that's
what's
something
the
we talked
overall
about.
here?
Is that the comms of I'm going to pull. Sometimes you say it, but it's not heard, right? And that's in the carry as well.
Go for a kill on the bear, yeah.
Pop wrapping around, uses her ult, blows up
Oh, the bear doesn't have ult for 5
both of them.
seconds.
Oh, that
Oh.
is rough.
Actually, didn't see many
Beautiful.
use truth.
I mean, what we saw there though, the quap scream into the brambles, that's a really nice synergy that we kind of didn't speak about, right? Like that is rough. You get screamed backwards into crowd control, right?
So a point brought up by other resident bear expert Tucker. So
Yeah.
Jay actually used True Form apparently to farm the camp instead of saving it for sticky situations like this.
Just J things. Huh?
Jay thinks, yep.
Yeah.
Wait, why did he use it? Is that even worth it? I mean, you get a bit of base attack time, but
I don't know. Apparently Tucker
Get a bit
says
of
it's,
bonus HP, maybe. it
Tucker
was
says,
about 3.
Tucker says definitely not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bit of a misstep there.
Like, if you really wanted to go green and farm, you don't level that at all.
Yeah.
Rather than leveling it and using it randomly like that.
We are seeing Hanju climb up the ranks now, surpassing Jay in net worth, which that's pretty interesting. That BKB, although what's he getting first? He's getting a Echo Saber first, is that? What's Ogrex?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, it's an Echo Saber.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
It's like a standard.
I'd really like to see Hanju pull a blink out because I feel like a lot of these fights, them winning is on the premises of Hanju blinking on the disruptor and just killing him before he even gets his ult off.
Yeah.
So a good nice way, you don't necessarily need the blink unless they have heroes like Storm or something that can instantly like get out. If you play around your flying and your vision well, it's very easy to jump the back line. So you can delay the blink a bit.
Justin picking up a double damage in mid. We haven't talked really much about the mid match since the beginning. We've got Justin on 5.4 and Quap on the 5.7. He's done well. He's done his role, right?
Yeah, so I think like both of you pretty happy with the lane. I think Crave more so than Justin maybe since Crave managed to get that gank off. Justin's the one who's really on a timer and wants to get stuff done. So
And we're seeing top lane, some action going down with Val getting blown up again, but with the rotation there from the disruptor there.
it's a good rotation from Milo.
Yeah.
They still
Really
don't have
good.
a ward up here.
To be fair, like even though the Drow has died a couple of times, he's still on 5k gold. He's still
I mean,
doing
I think that's also one of the strengths of this team, that Milo looks even better than he's playing great, but he looks even better because we see some action in the triangle there. Stack trying to be denied with Nightstalker going on the bear, the Quap scream coming through, and Quap should be able to finish this one, get the last tick.
And he goes
the
down.
old stack bait. Thou shalt not taketh my stack.
You know what
one of the few
was-
teams. Sorry, go on.
At least this time, Jay had a chance to use true form.
Yeah.
So,
There's
yeah,
not many
just-
two teams that can hold back the Justin's stack stealing tactic, right? They love it.
So, like, I think what we should have seen here was instead of Jay going into the triangle sector farm, I think the Bristleback would have been the optimal guy.
Yeah. And that's how it normally is.
He's unkillable, so
I think
that,
they were
that's
both trying to get in there just to help each other because
Yeah,
everyone
maybe a
else
bit
was
slow.
top. But yeah, like going back to what you said about like Bear and the side things, he can't be doing this kind of play because he's a lot weaker.
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to say, completely incorrect now in retrospect, is that what makes Milo look even better than what he is, which is great, is that Jay often becomes quite independent as a carry, and kind of sends Milo away. So he's often one of those fives that ganks quite aggressively. He plays that pseudo 4, right?
Yeah.
Playing like a 4.5. But
Although I did feel like it'd work better for the team if they just let Milo play 4.
I was going to say, yeah, maybe.
Because Lap plays as a position 5.
I think it's
Yeah,
fine though. You don't need to stay in lane as a fighter. Once the one can start farming jungle and be independent, like Lachlan said, which Bear can do quite early. You know, you want the other guy to be roaming, pushing that top tower with the pos 3 and stuff, making plays the rest of the map.
I mean, we haven't seen a lot of support ganking as much as maybe you wouldn't see in like pro games, right? Like we've got quite conservative lanes.
Yeah. Generally, I think TD. Most Rectum players in their position 4 don't really play position 4. They just play position 5 in the offlane.
Yeah.
And it's only a few players that really change that up. Like you see Jimmy do it. I usually do it when I play position 4, and same as Reho, we usually play that role too.
Yeah. Drow coming forward with the Jakira to kind of de-push the Bristle push, which has already got the first tower down to less than a third of health. Smoke up there in the top, picked out by the wards, but they get the D ward on that. And bot lane, the Bear getting
manhandled
again by a 3-man gank. That's pretty rough. We see
Another
that combo
kind
once
of
again.
form. He did get it off again.
And immediate rotations mid because they want to deal with this Justin push. The Bear's really taking the D early on. He's 0-3.
So this is a really strong push by Justin. And one thing
Nice
you
stock of popular
should
result.
notice is the top tower's actually already gone down, so Slider's free to join this fight.
Oh, the Jakiro into the Drow multi-shot. That is some real hurt. And unfortunately, Milo misses his ult there, so he's probably going to pay with his life. That's a 3 for none. If they can get Hanju, they can even it up. But that is a great trade. Can they go for more? No, they back off. They'll probably get mid tower on the back of that, though. With Drow wailing on it. That's rough. That's a 2k lead. That's mid tower gone.
As strong as Justin is, they just ignore him and kill everyone else.
Yep.
They have the tools to do that.
Unlucky that I think Milo missed his ult by like that whatever the ring is. I forget what it's called. I'm not a support player. But
just judging
better
by
killed.
I guess the movements of Justin, it looks like he's going to wait till he gets agged before he really starts making the plays.
Another gank onto the Bear and bot.
Another
And he's
dead.
absolutely blown up. I gotta say, those Willow Brambles are just absolutely countering the Bear. It
Yeah,
feels.
this combo, this
Right.
Sonic Wave combo is really good.
I mean, it's hard enough to skip through those Brambles the best of time, but skipping two characters through it must be impossible. Justin though gets his mid tower, and he must be breathing a slight sigh of relief.
The
There.
tower goes down. We see a circle being drawn in the top half of the map.
By
Slaughter,
Slaughter, and he
by
moves there
Slaughter.
directly. I think they're looking for the Drow,
It seems like it.
but no
He-
smoke. Just
They
literally just
need to
stormed
set
up
up
there.
vision. Set up vision up yes so that Bear can actually get up here. He keeps dying bot, which he shouldn't be.
So
Yeah.
Bristleback here farming the triangle is something which I really don't like right at this point.
Yeah, he's not taking
this-
dangerous farm, is he?
Yeah.
He's-
Like your job here, if you're gonna go with Bristle mid, is you are powering down heroes, you're powering down towers. You are being a nuisance right now. You are not a nuisance. You are
Bot
you are
tower
fine.
goes
You're
down.
being a nuisance to the Bear.
Yeah, I'd counter that by saying that Justin plays as almost like a false one in most of his teams, right?
Yeah.
And Jay actually has shown that he's quite happy to sacrifice his farm to guarantee Bristle in the first 15 minutes, such that he can kind of come down and rain hate, whilst Jay then gets his subsequent space, as we saw in that tiny game against you guys, right? I can't remember what Jay was playing, but he absolutely did nothing for the first 15,
He was
20 minutes
the
almost.
Drow.
He
This is
wasn't
the
Drow,
bait.
yeah.
He's a
He's
draft.
just baiting them and deep pushing with the arrows.
Yeah. It
But I
was
think
really
Justin farming
going in on Bristle mid here, but nothing of it. Oh, Night Stalker
Okay, Milo.
ult popped because they've wrapped around there. Milo picks up haste, running rings around Hanju. This is a bad fight, surely. The Dire.
Oh,
Step-
Oh,
Bears.
that macro fire.
Standing in
There's
fire into
so
Sonic
much,
Wave.
so much magic damage, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm not even sure if this axe is going to be enough. He's going to need a BKB. It's interesting. Like, there is a Silver Edge, I think, being rushed by the Drow, so when he comes online, I think the Drow's just going to kill him.
So going back to when Justin was trying, there's just a big stack there. You wanted to take quickly because they're behind. Like, if he didn't take it, they would have this triple stack just right now.
Yeah,
True,
it's a good call. It's a good call. I don't mind Justin taking everything on the map for the first 20 minutes. He's shown time and time again that he converts that into something, right?
He does.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, is more so on the respect timing. Like, if he was a different hero, I'd agree with that, but, like, when you're playing Bristleback, you're really strong for a significant, or like, probably the first half an hour, maybe 25 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And then the enemy has enough items to sort of deal with you. You really need to take advantage of that timing window, or else you just fall behind.
Yeah, I think now's that time because he just got his Zags, right? And if they can't take a fight before Puppycat gets the Silver Edge, which is like only 300 gold.
Yeah, they've got about 2.5 minutes, I think, to make a really big play.
Can we talk again
like 10
about...
seconds, he's got it.
Oh, he's actually got it.
He's got it right now, yeah.
Well, the courier has to go home first. So.
Yes, the courier has to go home.
But can we talk once again, Tim's draft, this crowd control that he's... Like, you've got the Night Stalker running at you with his ult. You've got the Jakira Ice Path Macrophyre. You've got the Macrophyre. You've got the Willow with all her crowd control. And then on top of that, you've got the Quap. And then you've got Drow right at the back raining hate. If you're not getting the jump on them, there's no hope you're going to find the Drow, right?
Yeah. Like, it's all up to Slaughter somehow finding the Drow.
Which is such a tall ask.
It's really hard when you have a Night Stalker
hard.
ulting every fight, right?
Yeah, he sees everything, basically.
And the vision.
I'd say, like, the way they'd have to play now is just go for objectives.
Smoke broken up top, and they get onto Tim, and he's already blinked, so this might be dead Tim.
Nice.
That Slaughter coming through with that amplified damage, being able enough to burst him down. Are they going to fight this? I think they need to get out.
I think wait for Tim. They have enough wave clear to delay this.
Yeah.
Just as long as supports don't get caught here, then they're okay.
What are the chances of the Tim buyback?
No, it's not worth it this early.
I don't know. It's Tim. He might do it anyway.
I mean, like, he's having a good game. He's not tilted. Don't worry.
Yeah, true. He's killed Jay a couple times. He's happy. I like seeing Macrophyre being thrown right now. I think it's
there we go.
They stacked it with the Fortify, though, isn't that?
Yeah, that seems redundant.
Yeah.
I think he used one or the other.
Yeah.
I learned never to
4
press.
seconds.
I learned never to press Fortify after playing with Tucker for like 2 TDs in a row. I did
Jimmy
it
might
wrong
die,
every
yeah.
time.
Oh, Puppycat dying is huge.
Jimmy getting caught out.
That's a very dangerous.
That's a huge kill. That's huge.
And there's the second catch there from Milo for the Night
Here we
Stalker.
go.
He's going to pay as well.
It's that 2.5 minutes we
Slot
talked
is
about.
coming in good, right? Like the damage and the bash. It's
The minus armor strike.
yeah, they're able, if they. I think this is the point we were saying, right? They have to get the jump, right?
Yep.
If you're getting jumped on, you've got no hope. You need to have taken the initiative, and that's what they seem to be doing here.
Yep.
Jay's got one on his bear right now. He's just got a deso. Is that enough?
He's just grouping up with the strong ass Bristleback and just
pushing down
helping
towers.
pushing down
Yeah.
towers.
I think this is what they need. Like, this is basically that window, right? Like, he had like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
And straight into the rush pit they go. Do you reckon they're going to ping it out? There's the pink ping there. That's Hanju. Oh, they've got vision as well, do they? Oh, they've seen it.
So here's the scary part.
Look how
This
quickly Rush is
Slaughter has a BKB key. So
Yeah.
he's actually going to be quite relevant once his BKB comes up.
And
Really,
do you reckon he should have gone on the Bristle there, the Aegis?
Um,
Do you put Aegis onto your unkillable hero?
Well, it's not necessarily unkillable because he's Silver Edge on Puppy
There is
Cat.
a Silver Edge, yeah.
I think it's fine. He's the one that's.
I think he's okay.
He's your carry right now,
Yeah.
essentially.
I really want to talk to Jay after this series and just say what their thoughts were at this point, because it really seems like they've switched on, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they were happy with the passive play up until now, and they seem to be coordinating once again like they did against Team Tucker. We see a push here for the mid tower. Druid joining in as well. So really, it's time for the 5-man strat. They've noticed it. They've realized their timer and they're moving forward. The blink on the Bristle as well. The blink really reveal.
They're hitting a really strong timing here. So this is basically what they wanted to hit because they want to push these towers down. Get as much stuff done before 25 minutes. If they knock down all these tier 2s, then they're well in control of the game. They start shrinking the map, and then they have a chance.
And Team Tim letting it happen. Know that they can't defend those towers. Know that
So-
they've got
So Tim's smart here. He knows like, hey, like we shouldn't bash our head against a brick wall. It's our win condition is Puppy Cat, right? We get Puppy Cat big, we win the game. So you see BKB being queued up on the drow. That typically signals I need to fight. So Puppy Cat's looking to farm.
Hanju's walking
opportunity
into
against
hell
that.
right here. He's going to get blunk on by the Justin, to use his coin
Glimpse.
term. And Lap throwing the ults and the glimpse back to his demise. And amplified damage really freaking hurts.
Yeah, and he gives vision for Milo for glimpse. So
Yeah.
one thing I don't like is he didn't disassemble his Echo Saber for a BKB.
Mm.
He would have lived there. Like, yeah, you use your 9 seconds. I think it's worth it. You
Does
can
take
always go
advantage.
back for the Echo Saber later.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
I think
point.
so. I think so too.
We talked about that BKB timing needing to be early. 25 minutes in no BKB really hurts a bit, doesn't it?
Mm.
Especially against that disruptor. Milo's been playing out of his mind. Can we call that out? He's been playing really
Milo
well last couple
really,
of
some
games.
really good rotations in the game.
Yeah,
Like,
and he's catching him out. And his ward game, as usual, is quite strong. Deep wards and sentries left, right, center. He has played
So
a
I think-
really aggressive warding game here.
in this game, it's going to become difficult once this Aegis expires on the Bristleback.
Yeah.
So they're definitely looking here to take a high ground and take a Rax.
Yeah, and as you speak, we have a 5-man push at bot. Willow dropping the brambles, not really deterring the Aegis bristle whatsoever. Where's Drow? Drow's farming the other triangle, so the Silver Edge nowhere in sight.
Yeah, I think the Drow really wants to be BKB.
Ooh.
And T3 already 50% and falling. This is like crypto, but the tower version.
Are we going to see a bounce back? That's the question. Is the economy coming back?
What will inflation do to the price of crypto? So, I mean, they're pretty happy with that, right? 70% chip damage onto the T3, and they retreat back into the triangle.
I think the biggest thing is that Puppycat had to TP there. This is
Yeah,
really
yeah,
smart.
yeah.
He ran all the way to the triangle.
Yeah, ran all the way to triangle,
They had
farmed
TV back.
camps, and then TV back. So this would be interesting. A lot of like what's going to happen now, I think, is going to be in the back of Crave. Like he's going to be showing a lot on the map to try to rat them basically. I'd like to see Lockdown5eva, which they are doing that right now, to smoke and try to find Crave.
Yeah, for sure.
But it seems like
Crave's
here they're
not
doing a
bad.
fake back. I think they're doing a fake back here, and I don't know. Like if you're playing this cerebrally, we'd be going, hey, we've got all the towers.
Yeah, and mid tower
Like,
not
they're
being
gonna leave
defended
their-
now,
yeah,
which is
they're not going to leave their base, right?
yeah. He would be screaming right now. You gotta push out the lanes before
Yeah, push
you
out the lane,
smoke."
shut the exactly.
Fucking Lakshman, what are you doing?
Shut the lane.
And we get Lena TPing back to defend that.
It's
And
hard.
Milo doing
Crave-
what Milo does, taking over the world with these wards.
Tim can rat so well. They don't have catch for him.
Yeah. I mean, Slaughter has been pretty useful for him, but he's obviously a bit smarter than your average quap.
So here, Tim doing what Tim does best is buying some time and really commanding like his team on his side.
How much time does Drow need? What's the next item that he needs?
I
He's got
think
the BKB up in 800 gold.
BKB, I feel like isn't enough to be in a commanding position. I think it's enough to survive.
Yeah.
I think he wants an Ice Scotty.
Yeah, okay.
Ice Scotty is what's key. Like BKB time is going to come up. You want a Scotty to be able to slow these guys coming.
Or a
TD
Pike
bot,
as well.
hopefully Night Stalker sees it. There he is, like a moth to a light. Fantastic. Bristle content back, whiling down the last 9 seconds of his Aegis. Is an Aegis not used, an Aegis wasted, or is that just it was a tool that allowed them to get the chip damage and that's all right?
I think it was a tool to get what they could have done. I would like to see the T3 go down. I feel like they could have taken down the T3. And it was just
Yeah,
the Aegis. Like I think a couple heroes dying for it would have been okay because they're the ones on the timer. But
Yeah.
at least it opens them up.
I mean, you can see here how the MMR of Rectum's lifted. Really, we see both teams kind of farming each other's jungle, and
Yep.
we're seeing a very dynamic shift in the map. Obviously, I think Team Radiant's going to group up and go for that top tower push. Is this going to be a trade situation? Like, oh, they're already TPing back, so they're
Ooh,
going
I'm
to defend this.
surprised. I thought they'd actually stay around to try to push
Yeah, I
this.
thought they might take T2 while they could, because they could take it quicker, probably. I think, with the Macropire.
They're doing the good old strategy of no be there. No be there.
No be
is
there.
great. No be there. No be there. Great strategy. If you don't want to
Yes.
throw the game and die, no be there.
That's right.
It's interesting that Crave has the Shivas queued up. Normally people go for the Shard right after the BKB. I think
What is the shard? Sorry, remind me. What's
the
AOE
AOE
yeah.
on the blink.
the
as well as
overwhelming
the
blink.
silence.
Yeah.
At the same
Yeah.
time, it lets you blow an entire creep wave up, right, Devos?
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah,
can-
and also like it's so annoying for supports if you get that. They can't deal with it. But he knows that this Bristleback's becoming a pawn too. I think he wants the anti-healing.
All right, let's go through where our heroes are at in terms of builds. We've got the Druid.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, Bristol sitting on
Apparently,
top of the
there's a blast rig sitting down here.
Yep, Crave missed it.
A
on the
small cap. That would have been
Tragedy.
a really
Not
good
bad on the
pick-up.
Night Stalker. Night Stalker, whilst we say that, getting caught out, not TPing though, blowing his BKB,
Oh,
running
this is
back
this is
to
not
catch
good.
good.
the
Something
Lina.
with
I don't
this-
know about
Oh.
this though.
Oh, actually, it's Lena actually here. I think.
Is that
Might
enough
die
though?
for it,
Because
right?
now
Yeah.
he's gonna die for sure. As Justin absolutely
Oh,
Oh, the
the
fear.
Bristol gets caught. The Bristol gets
Silver
caught.
Edge in action there. Justin getting
But
chipped
it's not
away to about
enough.
40%, but
Right, here goes down.
counter.
I think walk
blink
out here,
from
boys.
the
Walk out here.
Slider with the
Oh,
BKB.
and team
prop.
gets saved.
Team gets saved by Milo.
Bit of a choke point here. They can make the most of it. 100 goes back in after salving.
Oh, some really
But,
good music by 100.
Invis on the... Not enough, unfortunately.
Wow.
And there's the draft multi-shot
100.
actually slicing through 2 heroes. 3 heroes. Really interesting back and forth in that last fight. Sorry for the really bad and chaotic call. But you kind of saw counter-initiate on counter-initiate on counter-initiate there. The Slider Blink BKB reveal. Blowing up the Willow. But then Drow came in hard.
So I think this was a classic, I guess, issue on the Radiant team here where they took a fight where they didn't have vision. The Night Stalker here just played that masterfully, like darting up and down through the trees and just taking out the cores and the supports one by one by one by one.
Yeah,
And,
and that's a dieback on the Milo too. So that was a 5-for-1 exchange.
Yeah,
I thought him popping the BKB and not getting out he was going to die under Justin, but then the Willow Scream saved him last minute. He backed out, salved, came back. But I also agree with you, Ray, the lack of vision. But the other thing I would say is that they really grouped up to a choke point there.
Mm.
Like that's a multi-shot dream come true, isn't it? That little
Yeah, we saw like 2 heroes just die straight in those 2 choke points.
They were
Yeah.
fighting on the Haga, which isn't too bad. But, and like you said, Ray did save 100. If 100 died there, that would have been
I think so.
different.
Yeah.
Well, Ray.
Props to Ray.
Yeah, props to Ray once again. The crowd control coming good. Do you think that's a thing? A sign of things to come there. That fight not quite going their way, or do you reckon it was just an execution thing?
I think that was a really bad fight because they were well in control of this game, and it was basically on them to put the foot down and end
Yeah.
it. Them doing this has bought some space, and we see the Ice Cardi being queued up in the draft.
Smoke up from the Radiant. While we're at it, Fred, you want to click on the net worth and the win probability map because it's pretty funny shape. Look at that swing you're talking about, Ray. Pull back and then fall back. As we see, Slider pop the BKB and destroy the Jakiro. Willow in her other universe. Can she get the ult off? She can, but she doesn't catch Lap, who gives her the finger. Yeah, that you saw that. The pull away from the Dire on that graph, and the pull back, the pull away. Can't help but feel we're going back for a pull back. Mid tower, can they take it? I think Ray's been really good with his buybacks though, so he'll know the timing of that pretty well.
They probably don't need to.
Yeah, I don't think they need to. Pushing against this Dragon Way clear at least 2 waves, I think.
Yeah.
They're in trouble.
AC on the bear with the Deso. He's starting to get a little bit scary. But we've got on the Drow. Well, pretty much he's got the point booster in his pocket, so just 2,000 gold from having the Scardy on top of his Silver Edge.
I think,
BKB.
to be honest, I think Bristol should have thought about building an Albert at this point, because their timing window is basically they want to come online.
Yeah.
Right? They saw
He's
BKB being queued up.
Almost at the Abyssal though, so he's got a different strat. He's got something completely else in mind. He's going to Blink and Abyssal the Drow, right?
He is, but the problem is he didn't buy a BKB, so it's still really hard for him to. I get the idea. He wants to.
Did they find their own blast rig?
Yeah, they found it.
They found it. Nice.
Better love story than the Notebook. Oh, sorry, go on, Ray.
Yeah, so like I think the idea is there, right? Blink on the Drow, delete the Drow.
And Rosh is melting as we speak. Go on.
But I think for him to do it, he needed a BKB.
Look how quick that's going
Yes,
down. That's
I think he definitely
insane.
needs a BKB at some point. He's just gonna get kited really hard by all those heroes.
Justin picks up the shard, as Justin does. Is that the best shard in the game? I don't know. I find that hard to believe.
No, I don't think it's that good.
No,
Personally.
I don't believe that.
Personally, I'm not a fan of this
A
faction.
lot of stacks, isn't it?
Well, Slider's already
Yes.
got his.
Justin didn't even get the shot.
He's given it to someone else. I
Yeah,
think he gave it
yeah.
to the
Okay.
bear.
Thank you, NG, resident nerd. Um,
Bear's good.
I would like to see Drow get a shard though. Great wave.
Yeah, Drow with the shot.
I
Yeah.
feel like great value for money
hypothermia.
against melee heroes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe even now. Well, you're kind of far away enough from the Scotty that you're not going to have her for the next team fight.
Yeah.
Like, she could be
Yeah.
picking up that hypothermia right now. Night popped.
Night Stalker.
He goes for
Something on
Lena.
the sports.
Single man kinetic energy and
Be careful. Get out.
ult used on the Night Stalker. That's a lot of commitment for
Oh.
a Night Stalker that doesn't die. Can they kill him now? The Bears wailing into it. But
Oh.
meanwhile, Drow's in the
Drow
back
lets him
line.
live. Drow lets him live. He doesn't pop his BKB and lets him live.
It's an Aegis on the bear there, not on Justin.
No. He lets Milo live.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he was one hit away. Look at that. Everyone retreating on 10% health.
There he goes down.
Just the tip.
Oh, they found him. They found...
He just missed
The druid.
Justin.
And he's going to pay for that. Oh, Jakiro falls down as well. Really messy fights here. Aegis on the bear.
Where is
Got the
Justin?
silence still
Justin
on
TP'd out,
Puppycat.
and then
Oh, that might have been a
Oh,
mistake.
he's dead.
I think if
No,
Justin
no.
stayed.
I think Justin's too low to fight. It was risky.
Okay. Didn't see his health.
Jakiro just missed a ice path on Justin.
So Justin here, 6 slotted, no slots for BKB, but maybe he might replace the hood.
Yeah, I don't
He
think
has
he
to.
will at this point.
He has to. I think he really needs one.
Really sloppy fights though, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, in the beginning of that fight, we saw Disruptor drop his ult and his kinetic field entirely on the BKB Night Stalker.
To be honest,
Do you
I think
reckon?
Hunju's been doing some amazing initiation. Like he's been getting on top of the supports. I think it's really making their team fight a bit sloppy.
Yeah. He's dictating the
really-
pace of the fights, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not the game, but definitely the fights.
He's doing really good in
So
this
what can the supports do when you just links in your BKB?
Yeah.
They got nothing for that.
I mean, you gotta almost let Lap go in that situation, right? I reckon if Milo was able to hold that, they could have got Jimmy for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think like maybe what you could have done is make use of the blink and try to go straight for the opposite backline.
Yeah.
Trying to fight the Night Stalker is like a false economy.
so much going on in these fights. Incredibly messy. But good fun, all the same. 35 minutes, we're kind of entering well and truly into the mid game now. Justin, as you said, well, 5.5 slotted. That hood's going to go. Puppycat has completed his Skadi, still no hypothermia. I reckon in these sloppy fights, hypothermia is like such a weapon, isn't it?
Oh yeah, blow up the bear, blow up the team.
And just the general slow and it's messy.
It's
Quap?
okay. Now that he has a Skadi, you don't necessarily need it.
Yeah, Quap picking up. What's he got on his thing there? Oh, that's just a neutral item. Quap having the Shivers Guard complete on the BKB and the Kaya and Sanj, then going for the Ags after that, but still a while off.
I'd really like to see
Nah.
Puppycat save buyback going into the next fight. So I think Puppycat's ahead enough now that
I mean, no one's got buyback, right? We got Slider,
Yeah, yeah,
Lina. We got both the pos, one support and one offlaner right now with the buyback.
everyone's going all in.
We've had a couple of diebacks. Obviously, Ray's used his and Milo's used his, but he should have it back by now. And the bear, like I said, AC, Deso, and now a Basher as well. Pretty scary, right?
Yeah. So I think like Puppycat's the most important hero right now on the Dire team, and I think him having the buyback means that kind of secures their victory a little bit. The timer does tick, and he has all the items he needs right now, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to what Danny said earlier about the late game isn't a sure thing for Hunter and friends. The farm on these two big heroes. Surely a farmed Bristle and Bear is starting to look a little bit scarier than a farmed Quap and a Drow.
I think Draft's still strong because
I think 100% still ahead for that. It's like
They caught out the Bristle.
Oh,
Actually, no, there's 4 other people there. Play,
the
but no
bear just
BKB.
TP'd out, so he's not gonna
Yeah.
be able-
Puppycat.
Lincoln from Hanju nails the silence onto 3. He's going to pick off the Disruptor, the Light Strike Array, and the Laguna Blade slicing through the Willow on the dieback. And they might just disengage on that. Well, can they catch? Oh, they do.
2 supports for 1.
2% one. Not
They'll
bad.
take it. Again, like, Hanju absolutely blinking in the middle with his 3-man silence, forcing the split up and forcing Milo away from the fight. He's done that time and time again. Very impressive stuff.
Like to see Hunju buy a shard. He keeps sending himself mangoes, but you you get shot or
Yeah.
kind of like buying versus renting?
They keep finding Justin, but he just walks it off. Without the silver edge, it's really quite hard to get through him, isn't it?
Yeah. Like it might even be worth it for Hanju to think about getting his own silver edge here.
Yeah,
Riddle
I was
me
thinking
this:
that too.
does Butterfly allow you to evade bash? It does, right?
Yes.
Yes. Hit attack has to hit to bash.
What about these supports? Milo's been able to find a fair bit of farm. If he gets that Ags, it's going to look pretty scary.
Oh, apparently bash pierces evasion according to Tucker.
Oh really?
Today I learned. I always thought it had to actually hit.
I thought you missed the hit and therefore you missed the bash.
Yeah, that's the way I thought it would too.
Oh, that's why Tucker's smarter than all of us.
I'll take that.
Milo's quite rich, and he's only 300 gold away from his BKB. From his Ags.
Yeah.
Is that a game-changing item? I don't know. It's not like they're popping BKBs for this fight.
So I think if he manages to catch the Night Stalker
Quap.
before he
Or the
pops
Quap.
BKB, or the Quap before he pops the BKB, then it's going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But it's going to come down to, I guess, do they see the Ags or not on Mino before it's too late?
Yeah. I mean, this game's kind of been a battle between Ray and Disruptor,
Yeah.
and also the Night Stalker and the Slaughter, right? It's like that 4-3-4 combo kind of has been bossing how these fights have started and maybe counter-initiated as well.
I think I'd really like to see like the Hurricane Pike come out on the Drow maybe, or at least a bit more force loss.
Yeah.
The goal should be to keep the Drow Ranger alive now for the supports. Like they don't really have to do their aggressive plays as much anymore. Like they're now on the defensive. Keep your Drow alive. Drow will carry the game for you.
Slaughter picking up the halberd. He's only 1,000 gold away from completing that, more or less. Both teams quite happy to farm, and if they bump into each other, initiate a fight. But we haven't seen a smoke in a little while. Not since that Ags pick up from the Bristle. Rush only 20 seconds away though, so we might be seeing some rush action with the vision being put up in mid there. Smoke from the Radiant team though as we speak. So Nostradamus there by me. Who leads the fight? Bristle or the Slaughter? Looks like it's a Bristle first.
Yeah. Bristle to Bay and then you just Slaughter counter initiate.
Yeah, for sure. Can they pick up Hanju? That would be a massive find for them.
I think it might be.
Ships in the night. Perhaps Slaughter moves forward.
The daytime
His
vision.
smoke's broken.
Holy
They
shit.
catch him, and he is.
Gets his BKB
Oh,
off.
yeah,
Gets
yeah.
his BKB off. Now we've got a counter initiation
And
coming.
there's the fear. Well, they're running the wrong way, I think. Fear ran towards them. Tim hasn't popped his BKB yet. Ice Path misses too. Hanju flirting with the backline there, and now jumping onto Milo. He's a man on a mission. Popping the dust as well. Will Milo be
Milo
able
goes
to
down.
get his
Doesn't
spells
really
off?
matter.
No, he won't. Ice Path in the middle, catching out the Bristle, and he is absolutely sliced with the Silver Edge cutting through there. Will they be able to pick up the Druid? Surely yes.
Oh, he applies the
With
slow.
break. Yeah. That looks like
The wrong
it's a-
bear is teleporting.
Bear is dead
Can
with
confirm I've
the
done that.
Jakira Ice Path just catching the tip.
So
The sole survivor on the Slaughter. That's pretty rough. What do you guys think?
what I want to say about that fight is thank God they found that blast rig.
Yes.
They actually saved Hanju. The Slaughter didn't get his bash off and he managed to get a BKB.
Yeah, he got the silence off right because of that.
That
And the
the
BKB
way he
is-
got his BKB off was insane. It was. Oh, was that Blast Rig? You reckon?
Yeah, that was
blast rig.
because
That's
Slaughter
blast rig.
didn't get his bash off and he wasn't chain stun, so the Bissell came slightly later.
Yeah. I
Wow.
really want
From,
to watch
from
that
Justin.
shard for the Drow, please. I just feel like
So when we go and think back of this game, and then let's say HJAF do end up pulling this off and winning this, can we say that Crave almost threw the game for his team?
potentially it wouldn't be TD. Well,
TD.
jumps forward onto lap, caught by the brambles. Surely this is the dead Lena. Oh, he's got us on
no.
Quap's dead
Oh.
body. And they really committed.
Copycat, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, that is a deep dive. As you speak about Tim throwing for his team, he tries to do a little bit of a deep dive there. This tower's going to melt. Both these teams have got such crazy damage at this point. Can we see the chart, Fred? Oofed. Wow. Today's game is brought to you by the letter WM. Ooh. Back and forth. Unlucky, Rosh is up in 20 seconds. Sorry, it was the short timer that I was looking at 20 seconds ago. So they're going to be able to get the Rosh, although everyone's going to be back. And I'm pretty sure Team Radiant's onto it because they smoked, push into the mid lane. But Kenny will be screaming, "Why didn't you push the lane out?" They find
Hanju,
Quap,
let's go
but
back.
instead he blinks onto Hanju, who gets his BKB off and the silence.
He finds Lat.
Ice Park catching out the Slardar there, and
Good, great. Mercy.
Quap able to walk out of the ult. Big scream. Willow finally popped, but at what cost? Puppycat raining down the hate. Getting a lot of people on low health, but no one dying just yet. There goes the Slardar. Bear soon to fall unless his bear can get a stun. He cannot. Jimmy finally pops the BKB, and interesting there, a game of margins, right? That Ice Path catching at 2, and that kinetic field not coming down to stop the Quap, although at that point the fight was almost decided. What do you reckon, guys? Like, why? Oh, this is the Ags shard. Oh, sorry, the
Ag's
Ags blessing.
blessing should go on Puppycat, I feel.
The cheese. Don't get the cheese.
Oh, he's getting it all.
Ag's blessing should definitely go on Puppycat. I mean, like,
Who
Willow
took
is
it?
good with it. It's
Who
on the
took it?
Willow, which is
Oh, yeah.
which is a good item on the Willow, but I feel like
They don't need damage. They don't need damage, surely.
it's Puppycat here, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? You didn't see him take. Wait, who took it? It's gone on Jakiro?
No, it's not. All right. Well,
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's a bit of a throw. I mean,
oh no, I mean like
It's
again,
not-
it's
it's
that
not a
AOE.
massive-
It's not bad.
it is,
Like
but
just
I'll take that.
I don't know. Like, you're versing Bear. Bear, like, that marksmanship's really good for versing, like, multiple units, right?
yeah. I mean, can I also call out Casper's been really like playing quite well as well, right? He's been throwing some
Yeah,
really
he's been landing a lot of things.
some great ice paths there, and really making that middle ground treacherous to play in, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Initiation. And we see again.
Yes, exactly.
last
This is
three.
the Ice Path.
There goes the scream. Where's the BKB on Justin? He's got it, but he hasn't used it, obviously. Not worth popping in that case.
Yeah,
So there we go. We've got an 8-second BKB on Justin. Obviously, he must have used it in the last fight. He did, actually, but he popped it almost too late from memory. Jimmy was already raining down on him, and he was kind of on 20-30% health, I think, when he used himself.
Really wish to see that Ags on the Drow. I feel like Shard would have been better on Jakiro. I mean, like, Ags good, but Drow would have been the nail in the coffin.
All right, well, mid's gone, and the assault begins on top, and that bear is absolutely taking the D there. Jeez, the Drow hurts.
Yep.
Imagine if they're like, oh, there's the ice part catching the bear. Jimmy moves forward to try and pick it off. The Quap screen comes through and clips absolutely no one, which is unfortunate. Do they back off on the back of that? Nope.
Even as an axe, his ult has really low cooldown.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah,
Especially
Vito,
with that.
negative.
Hero's got no mana for the Macropire. Fuji's got the Ag's blessing. It's a bit of a tragedy here, but Jimmy doesn't care. He's chipping away at that tower.
Oh,
And
good stun here.
is-
This could be an opening.
Like, I think you just macro here. Like, they can't sit and defend this. And you just
He's
macro
got no
down
mana
that
for the macro.
He has no
shit.
money
He
to
did,
make
and then he
The irony.
Yeah.
The irony.
He's waiting for his
Oh, here we go.
ultimate
Here we go. He's got it.
back up.
He's got it. He's got it.
Jimmy did not take enough damage there. He just was allowed to hit the tower, which is crazy.
I mean, who's gonna go on? And, like,
Whoops.
it's impossible.
Yeah, that's Scardy as well. Let's not forget that he's really slowing everyone in the fights as well. Brambles dropped, and they back off. Waiting for a few cooldowns. Nightstalker moving forward. That mid push kind of coming in as well. Lena and Slardar really preoccupied with kind of deep pushing mid, whilst Jimmy kind of got some free hits on the tower. All the while, the bear.
Oh, Jimmy
Bear's got a
walking up.
BKB now though.
How fast that Rax is going now.
Lotus Orb on the Drow as he deletes the ranged Rax. Still got an Aegis though, and he's got a minute 46 on it and he wants to pop it. No, he's got 7,000 gold in the bank and no shard in sight, unfortunately. Which is killing me.
I'd like to see Satanic come
It's
up.
killing me also.
Yeah, it is. It is killing me.
That shot does AoE slow as well against 3 melee.
Maybe he'll buy it
cores.
soon. Okay, there we go. I mean, the good thing about the Lena is that the wave clear is quite good, right? Delete,
Yeah.
D-push a bit. Drow's got 1 minute 17. His Silver Edges breaks. The Bristle who immediately Yules. The Yules gets rid of break?
I think it's just
No.
want to keep him up to reduce the time that he's
Got
put
it, got it.
I feel like if he got shard there, it would have done way more damage to the bristleback.
1 minute left on this Aegis time, and they want this melee racks before they go. Amplified damage finally onto the Drow. I feel like it hasn't been there, although the Lotus Orb has been really good value. Who's picked that one up? That is the hero.
Casper.
Yeah, well done. I think it's one of the most OP items in the game. Aeon Disc and Lotus Orb just feel like bullshit items to me.
Lotus is always a really good pickup.
And
Like
they're gonna blink away and leave with the Aegis timing down for 30 seconds. They're happy with the mid 1.5 ranges of racks. They feel like they've got the late game as we approach minute 50.
I think it's their turn.
Tucker sends me the message. You know what else is good value? Drow with the Ag Shard.
Drow with the
It's
Ag Shard.
surprising after all of that, how long they stay there. They only get a range racks.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
They just...
I mean, I think they'd be happy with this. It's kind of their job now just to close the map up.
It was a conservative push, right? Like nothing really expended. One scream. Didn't really see Macropire play a big role there, and they didn't really want to. They were really just poking, weren't they?
This game is still throwable by the Dire, so
Yeah, but it didn't feel like an Aegis push. Felt like we're up and we're doing a cheeky push.
Yeah, I think this is game one. They're playing a bit more safe, like you said, more conservative.
like they know at the moment it's their game to lose.
Yeah, it's a good call. We're playing a best of 3 here, so winning a game in the upper bracket goes a long way to winning all of TD, doesn't it? So high bounty placed on game 1 here today. Smoke from the Radiant in their own triangle, whilst Tim and the boys push out bot.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That bot tower's going to get melted, obviously.
Oh, Satanic here queued up for the Drow, but still no shard.
But no shard. Tucker is rolling in his sleep.
I mean, Satanic good item, but I mean, a cheeky $1,400 would be a pretty good buy. Cheap as chips right now, right?
Alright, well, we're doing the same push again on bot now, but now without Aegis. And there comes
there
the
comes
up forward,
Ooh,
and the
a lot of
break
damage.
with the instant yules.
I think Justin has
Justin,
BKBs.
Justin walks away with the
BKBs. Justin goes down.
but dies. Immediate buyback from
He
him.
goes down.
Windy goes down
Oh,
too.
sweet.
2 buybacks from the Radiant. Nice
One
Talk
is
is going to
gonna
get
go
taken
down,
down here. Justin's doing a fair bit of damage. BKB absolutely wasted there, though. Almost popped it a little bit too late. Jakiro getting glimpsed back, and that will be the end of Casper's life. That
Justin
macro
got
is still
deleted.
burning bright.
Oh, this could be a
Justin
dieback.
moves forward.
Oh, it's a dieback.
Double
And that's going to
dieback.
be the dieback
dieback.
of Justin, and that might be the game.
That might be the game.
Lena absolutely blown apart by the Shiver's Guard. Buyback. They've got no Slaughter, no Bristle.
Okay, guys, you know why Hanju died? It's because he didn't have the blast rig.
They didn't have what? Blast
He
Rig.
didn't have blast rig.
Fix his cloak. Shit item.
Not this time.
Ice Path catches the bear. Can they kill the bear? The bear should be dead. He's destroyed there in 3 seconds. Blink forward by Slaughter. Blink forward by Co-op. But they're just poking. Oh, there's an Ice Path. They're catching the Disruptor. They're going to kill the second bear, and this is really going to hurt because there's going to be no bear now for some period of time.
I think that's it.
90 seconds. That is surely GG there.
It was really interesting. It was really passive with the Aegis. And then it
And
exploded
then really
without.
aggressive once it went down, yeah. Can we talk about Justin there? Because I feel like... Was that BKB usage a bit too late? Because I felt like he got caught
Yeah,
out.
he took way too much
Got
damage.
shredded by the double sonic wave. That's a like, how much damage is that? 1.
And that's BKB...
Piercing.
Good.
Pure damage.
Oh, it goes through BKB?
Yeah.
Pure.
That on top of like the drought like hitting him. He is
Well,
nuts.
On that win, 100 friends go up one game and they say, fuck you to everyone. We don't need no shard. You guys are dance motherfuckers.
Let this
And
be
they get-
remembered.
Sorry, Ray?
I say, let this be remembered as the game that Crave almost threw by not picking up the
The blast rig.
blast rig.
Let's welcome back Tucker and Fock to join us for this last bit, post-game analysis. Kenny, what are you thinking? If you're there. He's obviously not. Tucker?
Where the fuck was the drow shot?
NG, your thoughts, I assume. mirror
Exactly
that
the
effort.
same. They had all these melee heroes, AoE
Yeah.
slow, and
Yeah.
great wave clear.
I would have got it before Scotty, but hey.
Yeah, I would have just bought it with the 1400 just to de-push them when they were going high ground as well.
Yeah. Fred, can we look at the graphs? I didn't look like it was a sure win for Hanju by any means for most of that game. Those W's now kind of smoothed out by that final push there, but definitely back and forth within a 20k lead. their sorry, no, not even that's percentage, isn't it? Yeah, that net worth was almost even until minute 42.
So I think the mistake here was around that 25 to 30 minute mark. Like when they took all their tier twos and then they backed off with still holding the Aegis. I think they needed to keep applying pressure, keep these lanes shoved in, and then they needed to take a racks before that half an hour mark.
Yeah.
A lot of they were really strong. They could have forced it, I think, before the Scatty came up. And if they started a fight before the Scatty came up and before the BKB on the Night Stalker, they had a really good shot at just closing the game out.
I think it was really hard to go high ground there. They had Drow, Jakiro, Willow.
It is.
Your team doesn't have BKB. Like, how do you run up that high ground? You know, even with an Aegis.
Yeah, but that momentum that they had, if you remember, let's just not think that far up behind. Like the momentum they had was that when that Ray save of the Night Stalker and that fight completely turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one up in near the outpost. That was basically. I think that was probably the most important fight of the game.
I think that's why Ray is player of the tournament. He's going to give you those moments. Remember that I remember that buyback or the Willow buyback in that other game.
Yeah,
Like there's absolute critical moments that swing a game. Anyway, everyone select your MVP. What do you guys reckon, Ray?
The Blast Streak was a pretty good MVP.
Yeah, well played. Danny?
It's killed the game.
I don't know. Probably be between Ray and Hanju. I think they played really well.
Hanju played fantastic. Today he was on, which means that next game he is going to be off. NG, final vote? Dead. All right. And Tucker obviously votes for the Ags shot that was never bought. So I think that is a Ray and Hanju split there. I think actually I'm gonna vote Hanju. Let's give the points to the Hanju because he set up fight after fight after fight, didn't he?
Like he did really good to get it. He like every fight you'd see him take out the disruptor, take out the leader. Like it was clinical.
Yeah,
for
sure.
It was so hard for Milo to play that game.
Yeah.
Got his Ags but couldn't do anything with it.
Exactly. The BKB always came off. His initiation always came off. Like he just couldn't get his spells off.
All right. Well, let's call that one there. Fred, are you going to restart the Oh, it's just go straight into the next game. All right. Non-stop. Okay, restart.